He fought in the shadows. He built an empire from the ground up. He became the king of all men. Kingsley, the secret ruler of King's Court and the richest man on earth, returns home after years on the battlefield, only to face the ultimate betrayal. His childhood sweetheart, the woman he once trusted with his heart, casts him aside, mocking him as nothing more than a joke. But Kingsley is no ordinary man. And he never forgets. With the power of a hidden empire at his back, he rises, not for revenge, but for redemption. But when she realizes the truth, will she regret the day she let him go? Or will Kingsley prove that true power is measured not by wealth, but by the strength of a man's heart? Subscribe to the Story Portal for this thrilling tale of power, betrayal, and the ultimate reckoning. The city lights burned bright against the night sky, but for Kingsley, it was nothing compared to the fire that burned in his chest. He stepped off the private jet, his boots touching home soil for the first time in years. He had left a boy, young, reckless, and filled with dreams. He returned as a man, hardened by war, forged by pain, and carrying secrets the world could never fathom. But none of it mattered. Because the moment he returned, the only thing on his mind was her. Mira. His childhood love. His reason for pushing through the darkest nights. The girl who once promised to stand by him forever. But forever was a lie. As he stood outside the familiar house, his heart pounded. He had imagined this moment countless times. He had expected warmth, joy, tears of happiness. Instead, he was met with cold eyes and a smirk that cut deeper than any battlefield wound. Kingsley? Mira scoffed, arms crossed. What are you doing here? He blinked. I came back for you. She laughed. A cruel, dismissive laugh. For me? Look at you. What do you have to offer? You disappeared for years, and now you come back expecting me to wait for you like some fool? Kingsley stiffened. I thought we... You thought wrong, she interrupted, rolling her eyes. I have real prospects now. Men with money, with power. Not nobody who thinks he can waltz back into my life. A sharp pain stabbed through his chest, but he refused to let it show. He had faced enemies deadlier than this. But this was personal. Mira stepped closer, lowering her voice. You're just a joke, Kingsley. A clown pretending to be something he's not. Move on. With that, she slammed the door, leaving him standing there, hollow and humiliated. But if Mira thought he was just another man she could cast aside, she had no idea who she had just scorned. Because Kingsley wasn't just any man. He was the king of King's Court. And soon, the world, including Mira, would know exactly what that meant. The night was still young, but Kingsley felt like a new fire had been lit within him. Mira's words echoed in his mind, not as wounds, but as fuel. A joke? A clown? She had no idea that the man she had just mocked was the owner of the most powerful organization on the planet. That while she measured wealth in expensive dinners and luxury cars, he measured his in industries, economies, and nations. With a slow breath, he pulled out his phone and dialed a number. Sir, a voice answered immediately. Send the fleet, Kingsley commanded. We're going to remind the world who truly holds the power. Mira had no idea what she had set in motion. The next morning, the city woke to a spectacle. Towering skyscrapers flashed Kingsley's insignia, stock markets soared at the mention of his name, and luxury cars bearing his personal crest cruised through the wealthiest districts. It didn't take long for people to notice. Mira sat in a cafe with her friends, sipping on an overpriced latte, when gasps rippled through the room. Whispers, stunned voices, and the blaring of breaking news on the television above caught her attention. Kingsley Shaw, the news anchor announced, has been revealed as the secret force behind King's Court, the most powerful financial and military conglomerate in the world. Mira's cup slipped from her fingers, shattering on the floor. Her friends gaped at the screen, their eyes darting between the television and Mira. Wait, isn't that the guy you... Mira barely heard them. Her heart pounded as images of Kingsley filled the screen, his sharp suit, his commanding presence, the sheer power emanating from him as he stood surrounded by the world's elite. The same man she had called a joke. She swallowed hard, her mind racing. No. This can't be real. But it was. And worse still, Kingsley